So very welcome everyone. Very happy to have you here. I see new faces in the audience, so that makes me very happy. So this is a pitch day today, and it's a very important moment for us. It's a special moment because we're not just presenting projects. We're sharing our direction and the future that we want to build together. So my name is Isabel. I'm one of the co-founders of Translated. Translated is a company that has been that we built from the ground with a simple belief that technology, especially AI, should expand human potential, not replace it. So we bootstrapped this company 26 years ago with that conviction, and it has guided every major decision that we've made along the way. Then Phi-lab was born out of necessity. As AI became increasingly central in our ecosystem, we realized two things. First, the ecosystem needed more people qualified with AI that could truly work with AI, and not just talk about it. And second, many companies knew that AI could help them, but they didn't know how to do it. So they had the intuition that AI could do something for them, but they didn't know how to start. So we thought an opportunity there, and that's why we bootstrapped Phi-lab with that vision to inject deeper AI in the ecosystem and to create space where where AI could be tested, ideas could be tested, challenged, and turned into something very positive and very real. So today you'll see the results of some of the projects we've been working on in the last 8 weeks. Not myself, but all the fellows that are going to present their projects. And there are 3 ambitious projects in close collaboration with our clients who had that intuition that AI could help them. And they had the curiosity and courage to put that intuition into the test. So since 2016, when Phi-lab was born, we've worked on more than 100 projects in AI in different fields, and it's been it's 10 years now. I just realized that today, 2026 is going to be our 10th anniversary, and I just realized that today. So we can say that through this experience, we can confidently say that we know what we're talking about. So I want to acknowledge the work of our fellows, 8 weeks, very intense. It's a very short time to work on projects that are so intense. But the level of focus, ownership, depth that they've shown makes us very proud. So you will see with your eyes and ears. So now let me introduce you to Sébastien, our director of Phi-lab, and he's going to tell you a little bit more about the
Good evening. Thanks. It's great to have you here, and it's great to be able to present this session number 17. It's so much time, so many people who from candidates turn into fellows and turn into alumni. We've got now a very sizable alumni community of it's about 250 people now, and a number of challenges keeps growing. It's now about 100. I think it's 120 or something. So quite a stack of flashcards, piling up, and experience building in PySchool as well. I'm going to give you a couple of news about the rest of what we do at PySchool. We have another part of our activity, which is collaborative research projects. Do I have control of the slides? I do. No, I'm gonna try get this right. You do it? I can't?
No, you can.
I can?
Here.
Sorry? Point here. Sorry, yeah. Okay. And yeah, so we've even got a couple of words about PyCampus here. Okay. First comers here. Who's the first? Who's coming for the first time to? Wow. Okay. Welcome again. So we've got many people who are repeat guests here. They come to our networking events. I don't know if you subscribe to the list on pycampus.it or if you instead subscribe to the newsletter of PySchool. Both will advertise the events we have here. So PyCampus is a venture investment fund in AI, and it's also this physical place that we call PyCampus. It's these couple of villas on this hill here in Eur. We have about 300 people work here. Several of them are with Translated, which is a provider of translation services, professional translation services. And it's also I would say the biggest company of the lot in the portfolio of PyCampus. PyCampus is the entity that does the investments, and PySchool is the education and research arm of PyCampus. The typical deal that we do with PyCampus, we do investments between 50 and 500K. We've done about 70 investments today. Many of them have already either gone to die, and that's fine, that's fair game, because many of the investments, they're high-risk investments, so they're supposed to die this way. And several of them, we're happy to report, are also doing very brilliantly. There are news on the PyCampus website itself. I would like to show news of the projects. Down where? Where's the No, down takes me back. Look. Ah, yeah. Okay. Apologies. So I took you through the slides in the wrong order. Look at that. Okay. So an update on Dupes, a project which we started in July last year. Dupes has a Latin subtitle because, well, we're in Rome, and so we thought that it would absolutely be fitting for a project about multimodal foundation models to have a Latin title, and it's Diversibus vis plurima solvo, which several people told me is somehow incorrect Latin. Come and speak to me if you think so, because there's a story behind. But it's meant to mean, in various ways, I solve many, i.e. various modalities to solve many tasks. It's a big research project that Translated leads. I'm the coordinator of the project. It's a 29 million euro investment from the European Commission mainly, and we're adding to that money for compute, GPU compute, that we're hoping to get from EuroHPC and other sources as well. We're gathering about 70, the equivalent of 70 full-time equivalents, the finest research scientists in Europe to work on this topic. We're proud to have EPFL, ETH, University of Oxford, Alan Turing Institute, and many others on the consortium to do all this work. Here they are, all their logos throughout Europe. And what we work on is bringing what's today, the foundation models of today that we know to be mostly LLMs and a bit of multimodality added on top, to massively multimodal models able to learn from physical reality, so consume sensor data and interact with the physical world. So it's this kind of next dimension of AI to interact with the real world that we're trying to unlock here. We work on different levels of the ladder, I would say: science, technology, the engineering, the applications. In applications, we've got language. That's what, for instance, Translated is most interested in. So it's translation stuff, image-based translation, speech-based translation, and these things. We work on environment issues with satellite imagery. We've got several partners who are specialized in Earth observation and remote sensing. And the third current vertical is in medicine with cardiology. And so we've got several partners who are super verticalized in this, some who are, for instance, hospitals, work with patients, doctors, people who save lives, not like our lot who just keep burning GPU electricity. And they are the people who have the applications in their hand. And in Doops, we're trying to make the technology to fuel all that. We're hiring, by the way, on Doops. So if you have a scientific profile or a technical program manager profile, then come and apply here. Meetween is another project, an older now. It's a precursor to Doops. It's about speech foundation models. So still the same kind of thinking, multiple modalities, audio, text, video of speakers. This one started in 2024, and it's a €7 million project, much of the same setup of Doops, but in a smaller scale. And now Meetween is at the stage where we have a number of models out on Hugging Face already, so you'll find us on, not just on Twitter and on LinkedIn, but also on Hugging Face and on GitHub now. So we've got models out, and we've also got a large number, I think something like 40 research papers on the work we do inside Meetween. So this is going really well. And fun fact, next week we're going to hold the consortium meetings for all these projects here in this very room. So there's going to be the 70 people that I mentioned from Doops. They're going to be seated where you're sitting now, and the 30 people or so, 40 people from Meetween just 2 days later. Another quick update. We're running on behalf of the European Space Agency. We're running the Collaborative Innovation Network for ESA, for the Phi-lab specifically. What we do there with them, for them, is we organize networking events and sort of knowledge, seminars, for instance, or workshops, scientific stuff. These are the next 3 talks that we're organizing. They're all about the intersection between artificial intelligence and Earth observation, so satellites and that. And another project we're doing for the European Space Agency is called EVE, which stands for Earth Virtual Expert. And this one started a bit more, it's more than a year and a half ago now, almost 2 years. And this is very mature as well. And so the news there, I would say, we've been working on delivering the open weights model, EVE. So this too is now on Hugging Face. We've done this in collaboration with Mistral for the training part. We have got a collaboration with Wiley to access their proprietary scientific library. So that's scientific journals, textbooks, and so forth. So they helped us with 1 billion tokens for pre-training and 70,000 documents for the RAG store. Now you can find EVE online, so it's literally a chat assistant, and it's currently being tested by about 300 people. So we're very proud because it's already a substantial number of people that we're reading the comments from, getting the feedback from, and improving EVE this way. And you'll find the weights and a lot more on Hugging Face as well. Now, is this the moment when I hand over to you, Alberto? So Alberto is here to speak more about where we hit the ground running, where business value is unlocked on the School of AI program that is the object of tonight. Alberto.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm lucky I don't need to use this thing. So my name is Alberto. I do business development and customer success for PySchool. I'm sure you've seen the stats, right? So they say 95% of AI projects don't deliver the expected results. And it's not always because of tech. It's sometimes because maybe data isn't there, maybe the teams, the skills aren't there. And oftentimes it's because there was never an ROI. There was never a business case to make it happen. And you probably agree that before committing, investments and time into building solutions, it's a good idea to test if they're going to work or not, right? And that's precisely the problem that we try to solve. So in 8 weeks, for a modest investment, leveraging the state-of-the-art and expertise, we help you answer the question, will this solve my problem? Will this deliver an ROI? And we're lucky. We've been doing this for quite a while, more than 120 projects so far. And we've been doing this for startups, for companies like Enel, for people like Brightstar, Tipico, leading organizations globally as well as startups. And we do this with a very smart group of people, obviously not myself. and you know, my role here is to basically show the ROI, and I've been investing a few weeks working with the sponsors on improving this ROI of these solutions. And today you're going to see the results. Yeah, you're going to see what's possible. And my call to action to you is, if you feel inspired by what you're going to see, if you like it, if you have some ideas, you're not sure whether to take them forward, come speak to us, come speak to our team. You're going to have Vij, you're going to have Cristiano at the end, or even myself. Come talk to us and we'll talk about what's possible. Thank you. I will now hand over to my colleague Vij from the technical team, who will tell you more about the challenges.
Thank you so much, Alberto. I think you made the next 5 minutes really easy. The pointer. So, School of AI, the reason why we are here this evening. I think many of you have already been here, but I'm going to talk about what it is all about. I think Alberto already gave a little bit of a introduction to what goes on. So it's an intense 8-week program with 2 lofty goals, which is, the first one is gather engineers and scientists from all over the world. The second is to enable companies that want to pivot into AI by doing everything from a feasibility study to building a robust prototype for them to test their solution really fast and in an agile way. And since its inception, we've done over 110, okay, I'm going to come back to the numbers in a bit. So we've done over 110 MVPs since the beginning of this program, and several hundred engineers trained from a pool of thousands of applicants that apply to be a part of this program every year. How does School of AI work? We have 3 main pillars. The first one is the companies that come to us. The second are these brilliant engineers that I spoke about, that we form small teams. And the third is the AI solution that is developed as a part of this. And PySchool is in the middle of all this, enabling the formation of this triangle that you see, connecting all these dots. And this PySchool, what is unique about us is that we operate at the intersection of science and entrepreneurship, and this is reflected in the people that are part of the board. You've already met Sebastian. We also have people that are not only pioneers of AI, but they're also very, very successful entrepreneurs. And finally, these are some of our customers. So we have worked with some of the biggest companies, including Amazon, Cisco, PwC, and European Space Agency, amongst several others. Finally, so the numbers that I spoke to you about earlier, 110 MVPs developed as of today, more than that, over 240 fellows that are part of our alumni network, and some of them have either come and have gone on to work in some of the most prestigious universities, Cambridge, Mila, King's College, and several others. Around 2,700 applicants so far that have applied from all over the world to be part of PySchool, and our selection rate is on an average 8 to 10%. This time it's 8%. And some numbers about this specific session, because we really like to break down what goes on every session. So we have 8 fellows from around 3 different countries. We have 3 challenges, and we were selected them from a pool of over 200 applicants with approximately 8%. And finally, to the most important part of today's event, and that is the pitches. So we have 3 challenges from 2 different sponsors, that is Brightstar and Typical. So without further ado, I'm going to let the first presentation begin with Brightstar Lottery. So please, Davide, take the floor away. Thank you so much.
So good evening, everyone. My name is Davide, and for this session of School of AI, I worked on a project sponsored by Brightstar Lottery. Brightstar Lottery is a leading company in the regulated games market that works with more than, just here in Italy, more than 55 retailers that sells the products that Brightstar, the services and the products that Brightstar develop. And because of that, it's so important that there is a continuous communication between Brightstar and these resellers. So it's so important because the resellers, they face problems, and Brightstar has to solve this problem from them to make the operational runnings and the business running. So they, of course, handle all of this by having a business-to-business customer supports that can handle all the requests, and these requests made by these retailers, because of this huge network of retailers, can go up to thousands of requests each day. And so it's so important for Brightstar to manage and handle of these requests correctly and quickly. And so, these requests can be of different types. And for example, there are requests about technical support or about administrative support. And so what Brightstar is facing is what we call an intent classification task, where so the business-to-business and customer services has to understand what the requests are about, so finding the correct intent about the requests. And so, because to manage all these requests and help human operators dealing with these requests, Brightstar tried to implement an off-the-shelf AI solution, a commercial AI solution, machine learning solution, so they implemented this solution to help human operators work with dealing with the requests. And while this solution works for requests that were clear and easy to understand for the model has problem, the current solution has problem on understanding more complex requests that have natural language typical expression inside, for example, greetings or filler words, things like that. And so the model with this kind of requests, that are most of it, it fails to understand the correct intent. And so what happened is that the resellers are not satisfied because their problems are not being solved. Of course, they constantly ask for human operator, augmenting the workload for the operators, for the human agents, and of course, all of this, it adds a layer of frustration between the company and the retailers. So Brightstar comes to us and asks to solve this challenge for them. And so we work together to, also, I was forgetting about one thing. There is also another pain behind the scenes because Brightstar is working to, works and uses all their expertise to try to improve the current solution. And so they're not able to work on more important things because they have to stay behind the current model that has problem with, that is not working well. So together, we built a new solution, a deep learning-based solution that is fully autonomous and on-premises. And it uses as an engine a custom BERT classifier trained specifically for Brightstar, and this model is capable of just take as input the raw sentences that came from the request of the users, and it is capable to output the predict intent for that request. And so what happens behind in Easy Word is that this model is capable to just focus on the right keywords that are the ones that are useful to understand what the intent is, so what is about the request. And so yeah, basically this gives the ability to Brightstar to lower the request for the volume of requests for the staff, so for the human operators, and of course this also eliminates the maintenance bottleneck that the Brightstar team, technical team, has to deal with, and of course the customers are happy because now their problem are faced and solved quickly and efficiently. Now, this solution was built for Brightstar and tailored for them, but of course, this can work with any other companies that has to deal with customers and that has to as people that works on the customer services. One important thing about our solution is that it's completely on premises, so it can be run on local services, on local machines, and doesn't need it doesn't need for commercial solutions. So this is very important for us. So this is about the journey we had with them, and we started on week 2 implementing a baseline model and reaching a poorly 34% of accuracy. But then when we asked Brightstar for more data, we were able to implement an initial model that reached 80% of accuracy. And because of this big jump, we were impressed by the performance of the model, so we asked for more data. And with more data, we were able to reach a 93% of accuracy. So 93% of the requests, they are handled correctly by our solution. Because of these great results, we then try to tackle another problem, another missing feature. What happens if the user requests, the retailers do a request about a topic, a thing, a problem that has never happened before? The system cannot handle a unknown request because it doesn't know about these new trends, about these new problems that came during the time. So we developed a solution that is this intent discovery feature that so the system, right, with this feature implemented, can automatically discover for new intents, so discover for new, for example, for new problems that clients have. And this is so important because now the system can evolve alongside the businesses. So as the team, we were 2 of us, me and Rai, and we are computer scientists and machine learning engineers with past experience on NLP projects and real-world problems, and so we were the right team to work with Brightstar and to provide a solution that they are happy with. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Mubashir, and I was the coach of this very interesting challenge you just saw. So I would little bit talk about this project. Davide has explained everything in very much detail. I would just emphasize that this solution can be, we can say, like represented to any problem, any business to business or business to customer problem, which has a similar kind of issues with the customer support. And yes, this was all possible with the help and support of Brightstar team. And moving next, I would like to invite Mr. Marco from Brightstar to give share his thoughts on the team and everything. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Marco Fichera from Brightstar Lottery, and I'd like to share some of the experience that we have. Brightstar Lottery operates in the lottery and regulated gaming sector, a complex and highly regulated environment that is at the same time very stimulating from a technological perspective. For us, innovation is not only a strategic objective, but a daily necessity. It means improving our services and making them more efficient and ensuring an increasingly better experience for our clients and partners. So with this in mind, over time we have launched several technological and innovation projects. One of these was a virtual agent for B2B customer support based on Google Conversational Agent. In the initial phase of the project, due to internal choices, we decided not to rely directly on artificial intelligence or generative AI, but instead use the native intent management provided by Google. Over time, however, as David said, we became aware of a key aspect. The manual in maintenance and continuous feeding of intents require increasing amount of effort. And in time, this effort will be too big. We are dealing with a structured process that includes several activities: identification of mismatch or non-match phrases, cleaning of the engagement phrases, which often come from phone conversation held in noisy environments, such as bar and retail or public venues. Then the manual analysis of individual sentence and their classification according to the existing intents. Then the possible identification of new intents. And finally, the insertion of the processed phrases in the single intents of Google, of the virtual agent. It's easy to see how this work is carried out manually, becomes time-consuming and not scalable. It is precisely from this awareness that telos was born, a name that comes from the Greek philosophical terms meaning end or purpose, and by teleology, the study of intentionality, a name that clearly represents the goal of the project. Together with PySchool, we launched this project with a very clear objective: to automate the process of sentence analysis and classification, while maintaining full technological control over the solution. We had specific requirements: the use of non-commercial software, locally deployed models, and the ability to update them autonomously. Thanks to the collaboration and expertise of PySchool, and I would like to mention Alberto, Vija, Davide, Mubashir, Rai, we were able to build a process that automates both the sentence cleaning phase and the classification according to the existing intents. The result, as we saw, even during the testing phase, were very, very, very encouraging. Classification performance exceeded that on the virtual agent native intent handling, is so much better. Moreover, the process is able to analyze sentences that cannot be classified using the currently existing intents and suggest potential new intents, providing concrete support for the continuous evolution of the model. All of this was made possible through the use of LLMs such as Llama and pre-trained AI models based on BERT, fully aligned with our requirements. Today, we are working to integrate this process in our operational workflow, and confident that the benefits in terms of efficiency, service quality, and scalability will soon follow, because we saw them. For us, this project represents a strong example of how collaboration between industry and advanced training, such as that offered by PI School, can generate concrete, practical, and high-value solutions. Telos, in this sense, is not just the name of an application, but the reflection of an approach, starting from data, interpreting it correctly, and always bring it back to a clear purpose. So I would therefore like to thank PI School and the entire team for the valuable work carried out together. And thank you all for listening and this opportunity.
Okay, so moving forward with the next challenge, I would like to invite Mr. Vivek to come and present. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Mubashir, for giving me this opportunity. So, myself Vivek Gupta, and I'm here to discuss another challenge from Brightstar. As you already know, Brightstar sending lottery tickets, and they are running 55,000, more than 55,000 outlets across the country. So, the important thing to notice it here, whether these outlets are doing the branding correctly or not. So to understand it in a better way, Brightstar team contacted us and they want to do a feasibility study on top of that so that they can take the better business decisions. Now, the traditional approach to solve this problem, what they can do, reach to every location physically and then take the pictures, make the notes, and share the data with the team. And then team can analyze whether logos, stickers are showing correctly or not. But there are some challenges if they are going to use this approach. First of all, the cost is going to be very high. Now, think in a different way. If instead of visiting each location physically, if we can send the digital camera at each location and that can take the picture simultaneously, and then we can analyze the pictures at the same time through our AI automation, and then we can do the feasibility study whether the logos or stickers are present or not. So here is the solution. So in this solution, what we are doing, we are taking the latitude and longitude as an input for each location, and we are giving to the Street View API, and that is fetching the images at the same time for all the locations. And then we are processing those images through our AI model, and we are identifying whether the reference logos like bar and tabaki are present on those images or not. So here are some samples of visual clues of Brightstar lottery outlets. So we got these visual clues through the latitude and longitude positions, and we are processing through the AI model, and we are detecting tabaki and bar tabaki and other logos as well onto the images. So we are doing this process onto the complete data set. Now, outcome of this complete solution, we can say that the solution is highly accurate when the images qualities are very good, because we can easily detect the logos on top of that. Second thing, it's a scalable solution because it can reach up to thousands of locations at the same time, and it can capture the images, and we can process the data simultaneously. And the third thing, it's cost effective compared to the other traditional solution, because we don't have to use the manpower, we have to use all the digital solution, and we can solve this problem. Likewise, with other problems, we have some limitations as well. Like, let's suppose if we are not getting the high quality image from the Google Street View API, the model is not performing in a well manner. Second challenge is, let's suppose images are capturing with some environmental obstacles, or the stickers are not clearly visible, or they are pasted through some different angles, then model is not able to detect the logos with highly accuracy. Now, why our solution is different from the reality or some other solution, traditional solution? We are proposing from the manual visit to the digital visits. Okay, we don't have to capture the data manually. We are giving through the digital way only. So in the manual way, the solution is little not scalable. So we are proposing a scalable solution that can work for number of locations as the network grows. And third thing, you can take the smarter decision quickly. So we are proposing from the slow insights to the immediate insights. So here is a team who work for 8 weeks to design this complete solution. Myself, Vivek Gupta, I have an experience in data engineering and AI. And rest of the two peoples who have the experience in software engineering and AI, unfortunately, they are not here. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Vivek, for that great pitch. So, few words about this challenge. As Vivek said, one of the most important things that you do for a company is not just build a prototype, it's also due diligence, it's a feasibility study, because companies need to know, have enough information on whether to make a business decision that gives them enough return on investment or not. So in this specific case, it was highly accurate in detecting common visual cues like bar and tabaki, but then not so accurate on detecting some other visual cues which happened to be more important to our sponsor, and we gave them enough information to make that decision on whether investing in this or its improvements will lead them to enough ROI. And on this note, I'm going to invite Marco Rossi from Brightstar, our sponsor, to say a few words about the work, the collaboration that we have had. Thank you.
Thank you, Rich. So I'll be brief, also because you know everything about Brightstar right now. So but I just want to spend a few words about this project that for us was a great success because for three reasons. First of all, we had an interesting and attractive use case that we wanted to test that could give us some valuable intelligence, as has been described about our retail network. We were provided by a school with an excellent team that we really appreciated in the quality and the professional approach, in the speed, and also in the availability to run the extra mile when needed. So, thank you very much. And finally, the most important thing under a business point of view, we had a clear outcome. The clear outcome that this use case technologically is solvable, but the image acquisition point is the pain point that allows us to decide clearly on what to do about this idea and use case. So the purpose of this pilot was fully fulfilled. And the purpose being allowing us to know what to do if scale up or scale up, likely with Pi School, on something else. So great experience for us, and thank you very much again.
Thank you so much, Marco, for your words. They're super encouraging. So, on to the last but not least pitch. This is by our sponsor, Tipico, and I'm going to invite Man to talk about the great work that they've done.
Vijay. Okay. Right on mark. Hello, good evening, everyone. This is the last project for the day. My name is Man, and the sponsor of our project is Tipico. Tipico is Europe's leading sports betting and gaming company. Millions of people log into the platform and place tens of thousands of bets every minute. But to make sure that you deliver a reliable and rich experience to your users, it's very important to have a healthy system. It's a challenge to maintain and manage a system of this scale. The act of regularly managing and maintaining your software is called refactoring. Refactoring, a system of this scale would mean sometimes you have to change hundreds of thousands of things at one go. And this becomes a challenge which require highly skilled engineers to spend their time in fixing it. So Tipico, being pretty proactive about how they go about their whole software infrastructure, decided to dedicate 5 highly skilled engineers over a timeline of 2 years, that is 10 man-years, to refactor the code base. The problem is not just the cost which comes with this, but also the time. You cannot let your best engineers sit around when you can be pushing them for more innovation in the company. So Tipico had an idea. What if we can use an AI agent and pair it up with every engineer so they can tackle the problem at a faster pace? They chose Amazon Q, which is Amazon's enterprise coding solution. This would have helped the engineers to make and change the code directly in their integrated development environments so they can chat and do the fixes. And the results of this were underwhelming. Because of the sheer size of the code base, the model could not fit all the important information to give good answers and to actually solve the complex problems. Even the best models just froze up after 2 chats. This is the main problem. So, how much information an AI system can hold at a time is what we define as the context window. Think of it as a bag which you can carry books in, but you cannot carry a whole library with you all the time unless you have a Kindle. Let's say you're an engineer at Tipico and you have to clean up all of these unsupported payment modules. Well, you can see the sheer scale of the code. This would mean you have to identify where we need to make these exact changes, and then one by one, change them. The problem is, Amazon Q would miss a lot of these files. When you have incomplete information, you always give incorrect solutions. This meant it falls under the failure mode of hallucination, which means it will make stuff up which it doesn't know everything about. So the out-of-the-box approach failed. But that's where we come to help. So at Pi School, we started attacking it in 3 ways. The first solution we had was, okay, let's build plugins which can integrate with their existing developer ecosystem, which will allow them to, 1, get all the correct files which they need to change. Second, we add more manpower, or in this case, robot power, to their systems by having multiple agents work in coordination to solve their problems. And third, we actually made a testing pipeline to see how much of this actually helps their daily use case. Starting with the code search, we take all of their files and we put them into a little box which we call the vector database. We use this interconnected nature of the files to our advantage. So whenever a user would ask something like, hey, let me clean up the payment modules, the code search gives you exactly the amount of files you need to change. This solves both hallucination and also context overflow, because now you know these are the 4 things I need to change, and there's only enough information which is needed for you. And we made it possible so that as their code grows, this system keeps on updating and improving. When we face complex problems in engineering, the golden rule is to take the bigger problem and split it into smaller solvable problems. That's what we did with multi-agent orchestration. It's a very complicated way of saying that now we have 3 to 4 agents who can actually coordinate and solve these problems iteratively. So when you have to change 1,000 files, everything does not have to be done by one agent. Multiple agents can take the role. And you cannot manage what you don't measure. So how will Tipico understand all these fancy things? Is it bringing value to their business? We thought of the important failure modes and business requirements, and we generated a couple of metrics which can help us test this. So is my system actually changing the right things? Is the system hallucinating? Is the generated solution acceptable according to expert solutions? So for this, we took their existing code and we leveraged it to have sort of like a sandbox arena where our solution can play around and actually automatically do the changes, and then we can test whether their engineers did the same thing as well. In just 8 weeks of rapid prototyping, we made sure that Tipico can get 4 times more out of their enterprise subscription with our plugins. This made complex changes not only viable, but efficient to do. So here you see, these are all tasks which were done internally of various scales. So when you change just a couple of files, that's simple. You can do it with ChatGPT on your phone. But when you have to change over 100 files in the right way, that is difficult. And that is where our solution shines. So you see noticeable improvements through just 8 weeks of iteration. This means that Tipico now estimates that their entire refactoring program is now 4 times shorter. So we cut down their time needed for maintenance. So now they can focus on making newer, innovative products. It would also help when new engineers join their company that they are trained and onboarded a lot more smoothly than earlier. Finally, again, this was Man. And with my teammates, Aziz and Drish, we are engineers who have worked across the product lifecycle, made end-to-end real-world systems, and we understand the pain of writing good code and making sure it stays good code as the time goes on. So we were very well suited for this, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Man. And that was wonderful. And about this specific challenge, it's one thing to build something from scratch. It's another level of difficulty taking something that's commercially available and building on top of it and making sure it works. So it's kudos to this team and what we worked on to make AWS Q a little bit better. And hopefully this becomes into something bigger going forward. And I would like to call Sabato, who is our sponsor, to... Okay, he's not able to. All right. Okay, in that case, we've had 3 wonderful pitches tonight. So in conclusion, I would like to say 3.5 years ago, I started as a fellow here, starry-eyed, did my own pitch. And since then, I've It's come full circle where I've been a coach, and now this is my first session leading this program. And they say you always get better when you work with people smarter than you. And this time I got to work with 9 people, including the coach Mubashir, who worked with me to make this a great experience for 8 brilliant people who joined us for this session. And I would also like to take this opportunity to congratulate and point out other people, other colleagues of mine that I worked, like Louisa, Lucia, and Maite, that work behind the curtains but make this process really seamless for fellows. And looking forward for the next session, that's all I can say. Keep the challenges coming. And on that note, I think we could go forward with the diploma ceremony. Yeah.